All right, here we go with another podcast here with Lord BAMF and
Man, just call me Dion.
what happened to the unapologetical or unapologetically?
Unapologetically me, unapologetically Dion on Instagram. You can always find me at Niner Gang Podcast on YouTube. Here with my brother. Let's go.
All right, we're gonna have that on the information page or what is it called? The comments,
Yeah, in the
all that.
description. In the description.
But we're gonna start off with Suntan Brewing Company JuicyJack, which is a very, very, very refreshing and cooling and all around delicious juicy IPA, right?
Exactly.
Let's
And
see.
it's got a cool logo on it too. This dude
Hold
looks
on.
like he should be a comic book
This
star.
one for anyone that's hearing out there. There we go. Hold on the sip. Excuse us. Yeah, but that's real good right there.
That's good. That's really
I like
good.
that. But you know what, Suntan? Maybe it's the beer kicking in already and I'm getting creative with it. But forget about Juicy Jack. How about Juicy Jim? There, there we go.
Brand new line, Juicy Jim.
The Juicy Jim line and then the unapologetical IPA.
Exactly.
Oh,
there
wait
it
a minute.
is.
This is an IPA. The unapologetical.
Sorry, it does make a difference.
All right, yeah,
Unapologetical beer. It'll slap you in the face when you drink it.
Either way, yeah, people are going to buy it and drink it, right?
Exactly.
All right. So, what are we talking about today? We wanted to talk about what's going on with
Tupac and his killer.
Tupac and his killer. Is it his killer? Well, you don't know, right?
Yeah. So basically,
What's going on? Hold on, before we go, maybe we should talk a little bit about like his past. You know, people don't.
Yeah.
How long ago was it?
So Tupac was killed in '96.
All right. So yeah, that's some time. I'm already drunk. I can't do the math.
Yeah. So Tupac was killed in '96. Biggie was killed a year later in '97. And the people that they captured and they're stating is Tupac's killer basically are the same people that they were kind of looking into for the same death of Biggie Smalls.
Yeah.
So basically, long story short, Tupac is a rapper. He is originally from the East Coast. He made his bones just growing up in Baltimore and New York, a variety of different places. We all know his mom, Afeni Shakur. She was a part of the Black Panthers. So Pac, when he was growing up, he had a crazy, crazy life.
So there's a lot we can talk about besides, like, dude, not just his lines too, because he was almost like what poetic as well.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, Pac was poetic / controversial. Like he would have you ready to ride, go over there and blast on some people, and 5 minutes later he'd have you thinking deeply. Like he was able to walk that fine line between a conscious rapper and a gangster rapper. Like he knew how to be able to do both and still let you know who he was as a person.
Yeah. The one line that I remember exactly what I was doing and where I was that I heard and it stuck with me until now is the and it's one of my favorite songs of his is the I made a G today, but I made it in a sleazy way, selling crack to some kids. But hey, I gotta get paid. And when I first heard that, I was like, what? Because where we grew up, that was a lot of it going on, and maybe we even did that. I'm just saying maybe.
Yeah, like growing up in Los Angeles, California, in the time that we grew up, it was a rough go. Like that was when gangbanging was prominent. The streets were definitely popping. Like you go to LA now, it's a whole different world.
I heard it's beautified now.
Oh
right?
man,
Speed bumps and whatnot.
Yeah, they done gentrified the areas, but it's still the time where we were around is the stuff that Tupac was talking about.
Yeah,
is his number one song for me. That I know I
say
receive
it.
as iconic.
We can't play the music for copyright
Yeah.
strike, but you can sing it.
Yeah, but like Brenda's Got a Baby is a very, very profound song. It's extremely deep. It lets you know exactly how this young man was thinking, and he speaks about that from
Yeah.
the perspective of the young lady and what's going on, and just seeing it from the outside in. So,
So
you know,
for anyone who hasn't ever heard Tupac, which there is many out there,
mhm,
what would you recommend?
I would recommend actually listening to All Eyes on Me. That is his double album. That's the first album he released on Death Row Records. He'd had other albums
I
on
remember that one.
Interscope
Yeah.
before that, but All Eyes on Me is the double disc, and I'm telling you, that's like one of the greatest body of works that you've ever heard. He had that countless hits on there, man, and I mean like To Live and Die, not To Live and Die in L.A., but he had Toss It Up. He had everything, man. It was just basically Tupac just giving you him, and he was coming fresh out of jail. So you got to think about it. He had to go hard because he had something to prove. Being locked down, Suge Knight helping to bail him out and get him going. It's just a different world. But if you never heard Tupac, listen to All Eyes on Me, and believe you me, it'll blow your mind. And listen with an open mind. Don't get so caught up in what's going on now. Just understand this came from a different era.
Just listen and understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
open your ears and open your mind because he's gonna drop some serious game on you in that
But that's crazy because also like as a creative person, as an artist or whatever, if you have time, whatever solitude you have, your mind, your creativity gets going. So you start pumping out these jams, these lyrics, and then all of a sudden you have this whole catalog, right? And then you just need the opportunity for someone to give you to put
one.
it all together and get it
And
out.
and Tupac, man, he released Jesus Christ. He had so many things posthumous. Like it was flat out ridiculous how many albums came out after he died. So he had a lot of work, and he would always write. He would write really quick, and then he would always want to record. He would do the recording, and he was the type of person just to go ahead and leave and basically allow the guys to do the mixing, mastering, and all that stuff. He just wanted to record, get his vocals down, and then after that, he left.
Yeah, because I'm googling it and I don't even know. There just keeps on going. I scroll down 1, 3, 6, and 12. Too many.
Yeah, he had so many different albums, but I can tell you this: his uh his first few albums did come off of Interscope Records. He actually started as a roadie for Digital Underground. A lot of people don't know that,
I remember that.
and
What was that one jam they had?
yeah, that was all around the world. All around the world, same song. And you would
Mm.
have Pac there, man. He was out there killing it. And that was the first time he had an actual verse with Digital Underground, and he laid that verse, he killed it, and he was out there with
Digital
them.
Underground.
All right, R.I.P. to Shock G.
Yeah.
Shock G is passed, and Digital Underground literally, unfortunately, is down to one member, and that's Money B. Money B is the only one left alive. Shock G is passed, and so is Tupac. Now, don't get me wrong, we still got the conspiracy theorists out there that say that Tupac is still alive. A lot of
Well,
people say he's in Cuba.
that's what this is about, right? As once we get past this, then
Mhm.
we're gonna talk about because that's something I wanted to like talk about or get into is like, is it his killer, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah. So the guy they picked up, his name is Keefe D. So if you do enough research and you dig into the situation with Tupac and his death and everything, what happened is Tupac was in Vegas for a Mike Tyson fight. Him, Suge Knight, a bunch
Tyson.
of bunch of people from Death Row, and Suge Knight ran with a bunch of Bloods, and he always had gangsters around him. He's a Blood himself. He's from Bounty Hunters. So basically, they got into an altercation in the lobby of a hotel. It was caught on tape, and basically Pac was seen there, assaulting. I can't remember. I think his name is Orlando Robinson or something like that. But in the streets, he was known as Baby Lane. And basically, what happened was when they got wind of that, Keefe D, which is Baby Lane's OG, was like, "Nah, we not about to let that fly." Now you got to remember, Tupac himself was not an actual gang member. He was not from a gang. he was okay with a lot of gangs because of what he represented and how he carried himself. So it's a little bit different. Basically, you become affiliated. You guilty by association.
But what was his background though?
Tupac's background more so honestly was just him being a a bit of a prophet, a bit of a poet to an extent, from the upbringing that he had. Like I said, his mom was with the Black Panthers, so he had a lot of
That's
that in
hard.
him.
That's hardcore in itself. Like, dude,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
You
because
know.
because we all know how the Panthers ran, and it wasn't no playing, and they a lot of people don't understand what that meant. But long story short, with the Panthers, it was basically take care of your people, and it was all power to the people. So it wasn't, hey, I'm gonna x-nay you from hanging out with us. It was no, everybody take care of everybody,
Mm.
and we can come together. Once we have taken care of ourselves and we got that, then we can come together and be able to show this government that we the people really means we the people, not y'all tell us what y'all think. Y'all
Who
make us think
who the
it.
people? What
Exa-
what people? Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, who, what, when, where, how, and why.
Which one's the
Which
people?
one's the people?
Yeah.
Like all that. You know how it works,
Uh,
man. But
all right. So, do you, we're fam. I trust your word. Do you think he's the killer?
there's a little bit of yes and no. The reason being is Keefy D was Baby Lane's OG. Now, if you do a little bit more research,
Do some research too, people.
yeah, go on Vlad TV and look up BG Knockout. Look up his interview with the situation with Tupac. He basically said straight up, if that was just Tupac and Baby Lane in a one-on-one fade, Baby Lane would have whooped his ass. It's literally what he said. These are not my words, people. You just go over there, you find that interview.
Again, these are not his words. Go look. Yeah.
Yeah, and basically, it was a situation where those two just clashed at the wrong time. And in the streets back in the day, gang banging when it was seriously prevalent, if you got yourself beat up by 4, 5, 6, 7 people and you went back to your gang and told them what happened, the first thing they want to do, automatic retaliation.
Retaliation on the spot. Like, bam.
We not thinking about it. We not worried. We literally we hopping in the car. We gonna find these dudes and we gonna do what we gotta do. We gonna get our get back.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say what's gonna happen, but there's gonna be some things going down.
Yeah, it was just straight up like, it wasn't even any planning. It was just straight up, let's go,
Yeah,
hit it up, and what comes out of it comes out of it.
exactly. So there was no thought process back in the day. Like, you hopped in the car, you did what you had to do, and you called it a day. So that's basically. I do think that partially it could be his killer, but then of course Tupac is like the Black Elvis, basically, because people always say that they've seen him alive, that they know he's alive. There's been pictures surfacing on the internet for years. There's a whole host of things. The thing is if this man is in hiding, he's doing a damn good job of it.
Well, yeah, because there's always that about, you pay a certain amount to get certain things done.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
wanna get out of the spotlight. Well, here's what it costs. Oh, you got that money? All right, boom. We're gonna get rid of your character, and you're gonna go back to being who you are, who you were born as, right?
That's the fact too.
And it's crazy because that said a lot about a lot of artists, not
Mm,
just Tupac, and like you said, Elvis. So
yeah. And the beauty of it is y'all got to pay attention to what he said. He said character. You have to remember these are characters that are built by these musicians. That's not who
some
these
some
people.
some by themselves, some by
Yeah, you'll
corporations.
have music
Yeah, yeah,
corporations
yeah, yeah.
that'll come to you, and you'll drop what today is known as an industry plant. Um, and basically that's what it is. So when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, those are characters. That's not the people really doing it. So if you ever listen to music and you really think these people are doing these things, you must be out of your mind. They're not. You're not going to make that sum of money and still be in the streets doing the things that you used to do.
No, well, that's why a lot of the real ones never make it.
Yeah.
because they're real. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, because they're really out there doing things.
they're really
And
out there. And companies don't want that. They want someone that you gotta do what we say. You gotta do what we say. Come on, you want that big money, that
oh
that
yeah,
that house on Hollywood, that the hills. You gotta do what we say.
yep.
You gotta.
Because you
So
got to think about it. Like perfect example. Too Short has said in multiple interviews that he had people come to him and would say, "Hey, this is my life. This is what I do. This is what I really do.
mm,
Make a song about it."
mhm.
And that's how Too Short got started. He had a lot of mixtapes before mixtapes were known as mixtapes, and he would just make them for those people. They just wanted to hear about their life on a record, and they knew they weren't rapping or rhyming or nothing. So he would do that, and that's how you make your money.
Yeah,
So not everybody is talking about things they've actually done. A lot of the time, it's a situation where they're talking about things they've seen,
they've
things they've
seen, things
heard,
they've
things they've
heard.
been around, no matter what it is. You can say on a record anything that you really want, but when you get out there with those real type of people with the subject matter you're covering, you gotta be careful because
Yeah,
they out there really living that versus you just talking about it as a fictional thing. So think of rappers and think of musical artists as people who, as an author because they're giving you a fictional tale.
yeah. And you could tell the fake ones right away. Come on, man. You
Yeah.
you you've never been there. Get the hell out of here with that crap, man.
And I'm a automatically name drop
No,
Takashi.
no, 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 no
There,
names.
there's a rapper out there with
Yes.
rainbow hair, and we all know
Oh
who
my
this dude is.
God.
And come on now, man. Like we grew up in an era and in a time where you saw actual real gang members.
Oh yeah.
Like these were really dudes that were really out there doing it. They were not playing about it. They were about that life.
And it was. I remember perfectly. It was no games at all.
None.
Like, dude,
Like
nothing.
it was so another history lesson for you. Listen to Kendrick
Not for
Lamar's.
me. For the list.
Yeah, for the listeners. Listen to Kendrick Lamar's
And keep drinking
first.
that beer too.
Exactly.
We're pod and drinking, okay?
Exactly.
And hopefully I just created that pod and drink.
There you go. Make sure you're always on that Santan Juicy Jack Juicy Hazy IPA.
All right.
But you basically need to listen to Kendrick Lamar's first album, Good Kid, Mad City. There is a skit at the end of one of the songs, and the skit literally describes what we encountered on a day-to-day basis. The number one question you never wanted to be asked was, "Where you from?"
Oh yes, the infamous. Where you from?
And like
Or
the
hey,
way it's said,
where you from, man?
exactly the way it's said in different ways means different things. But the number one thing you didn't want them to ask is, "Where you from?" And you have a generic answer. "Oh, I'm not from anywhere." That does not fly.
From nowhere.
Nope. Where do you live?
I remember once I heard, I live right up the street over there. He was like, for real, I kid you not. I
Yes.
heard that and I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, I hope that kid, he's all right.
When you saw these things, because both of us growing up in LA, we saw these things happen in real time. It happened to us. So when you saw these things happening to other people, you could tell, like, hey, your answer to that question is going to depend on what's happening next. I'll give you a prime example. Back in the day, long, long time ago, used to mess with this chick. She lived over in Hooverhood. I lived in the jungles. So the jungles is all Bloods, Hoovers is all Crips. I go into Hoover's neighborhood messing around with this chick. Here's the issue. The first question they ask me is where I'm from. I can't tell them I'm not from anywhere. And I can't tell them that I live in the jungles. I'm guilty by association. Now, I'm automatically a Blood, even though I didn't gangbang, never got put on nothing.
Yeah, that's right. Ponder that, kids.
Think about that. You're just literally guilty by association. And next thing you know, only reason I got past that was I knew somebody that was from that same neighborhood.
And that's how it was. You had to know somebody.
You had to know somebody. You had to have a pass to get through.
Because the first thing that happened was, oh, no, hey, he's cool.
Yep. They let you by. Oh, no, I know him. They, somebody knows you. You know someone. You know somebody's mom. You know somebody's grandma. You know somebody's cousin.
Yeah.
You have to have that mindset when you're moving through these areas, only because if you don't have that, you can get yourself to a whole lot of trouble.
Right.
But Tupac himself was able to move in all these circles based on his affiliation with Death Row, based on his affiliation with Suge Knight, based on his affiliation
the
with
movie industry.
yeah, the movie industry, Snoop
Forget about
Dogg, everything that came around him allowed him to move in different circles. But that didn't mean that he didn't make enemies. There were a lot of people that didn't like Tupac.
Well, there's always haters, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have haters no matter where you go and what you do. But when it comes to Keefy D, when it comes to Baby Lane, when it comes to those Crips out of Compton, you have to be real mindful, because when you moving in them circles and you do those things, there's going to be repercussions.
Yeah.
Now, you got 50 million conspiracy theories about Tupac. Oh, he wasn't shot. I mean, you hear it on the Machiavelli album. He literally said, Suge shot me. There's so many different things. It was, oh, okay, he was in a regular BMW. No, they were in a BMW wagon. Oh, he got to the hospital. He survived. There's so many different conspiracy theories on what happened to Tupac. You just never know.
We don't know.
Now, these dudes being his killers, it makes sense with the way that gang banging is supposed to be, with the way that these things go. But could these dudes just be taking the fall?
That's true.
Why would you mean tell me it took almost 30 years to find these killers?
I think it's silly. This is my opinion. Anyone who listens and gets offended or whatever flips out. I think they know, but they're not going to release it when we want it. They're going to release it when they want it.
That's full facts. Because the cops will tell you whatever you want to hear. They don't care. It doesn't bother them. They don't stop. They don't think. His family, all of the people that he was around, his mom, everything. They ain't thinking about that. They're like, well, we'll tell you what we want you to know and we'll move on. But the number one thing you got to remember about Pac, he was always studying ways to get out.
Yeah.
And his album, Machiavelli, do the research again. Look at Nikolai Machiavelli.
Yep.
Okay.
This is a good one. That's something anyone listening should definitely look into.
If you're talking about faking your own death, this dude wrote a book on it.
Yeah.
He was the king of it. He did what he did. He made sure he made it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just dig into that, because that's what he was trying to do.
One of the greatest disappearing acts?
We will never know.
Could be.
It could be. And if it is one of the greatest disappearing acts, and I applaud him for being able to do it and actually pull it off.
Hell yeah.
Because that is, if you look at the movie, if you watch Tupac's movie, and you see exactly what happened, basically he had fulfilled his contract and he wanted out.
He was out.
But the thing is you got to think about it.
You got all these people that have invested. So what do you do?
Yeah. And you got to think about it like this: from a business standpoint, it doesn't make sense for
They don't care. They don't
to
care.
let him go.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why am I going to let you go? I'm making too much money off of you. I have no reason to let you go. You're going to stay here.
But you know what? Just as much as him, there's these corporations that are just as vicious. And, man.
Like, look at it like this. If you just dig deep enough into the music industry, when you see artists complaining about missing money or companies shelving them, stuff like that, you have to think about it. They don't want you to get out because they're making too much money.
If you're a legend, oh, no, they're not going to let you go.
Put it like this. You let Tupac go, and he walks out the door.
Mm-hmm.
He makes way too much money on his own. He makes way too much money by himself, and you're not getting any piece of that pie. You don't own any masters.
Which you were getting used to.
And you were getting used to all that money that was coming in.
All that flow just, whew.
Because when you look at the record labels back in the day, the Death Rows, the No Limits, the Cash
The
Monies,
real labels where you had
these
to
labels,
get out and buy the record, the CD, the
the Rough
tape.
Riders, like you had to buy the CD, you had to buy the tape. And please, people, if you don't know what a tape is, look,
Again,
the
look into it.
the struggle was real. That tape would get ate up in a tape player. Then you had to take it out. You had to get a pen or a pencil.
That's a whole other
really,
podcast.
that's like a whole other thing, man. We can talk about that for days.
All right.
So, what you have to realize is, you see your cash cow walking out the door, it doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna let you leave when I know how much money I get off you. What? No, I want you to re-up on this deal and re-up on another deal and then do another one after that, because I know you're going to bring in the revenue. It's a business, and when business is involved, all you're looking at is the bottom line.
Yep.
Now, you want to be in business in what they call in the black. Why?
Or blood business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you see, and then we could. That's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole other.
Whole nother podcast. We could talk about the Illuminati, the whole nine.
Man,
like we could
started.
go. We could go deep into this stuff.
We'll save. We'll save that one for later. For Halloween, maybe.
There you go. Yeah, we'll have a Halloween.
It is dark, man. That's the dark one.
It's definitely very dark. The occult, all of that stuff is involved here. But it's just smart. You don't let your cash cow leave.
Yeah.
You know, you think about it, it's very simple. That's like a pimp letting his bottom chick leave. That doesn't make sense.
Nah.
She's the one who's going to keep all the other ones in line. So why am I going to let her walk out the door? That don't make no sense. Because then now they going to get all out of pocket, and it's too hard for me to reel 7, 8, 9, 10 people in when she's doing that automatically for me, and she's not giving me no lip. She's not giving me no pushback. I'm like, no, you stay.
Yeah.
I don't care if all of them leave, but you stay, because you know what? I can get another crop.
You're my number one.
You are my number one.
You're my pocket feeder right here.
Exactly.
Putting all that dough.
And that's what Tupac was. We live in a pimping whole world, people.
And that's another thing. Companies don't want to start all over.
No.
Get out there. Find some shitty artist and then promote him. And they're just sitting there like, man, I don't want to push this fucking loser. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then I got to put a lot of money into him. Then I got to promote him. Then I got to pay this DJ, this radio station, that radio station. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. But I do believe, honestly, it's weird because they said that Keefe D has been running around actually saying, like, that's what he did. He wrote a book saying he killed him. So how you going to openly admit to it, but then that happened in more recent years where he did this. So you openly admit to doing that, knowing you're going to get caught? That's stupid. Anybody with a brain in their head, if you committed a murder, you're not going to just tell on yourself.
Right.
You'd rather let them try to catch you with a detective and a bunch of evidence and all kinds of stuff. But then again, with the way that today's world works, you don't even really have to have evidence. If they feel like you're that person and you did it, they'll find a way to convict
Off you go. We're taking you with us. Man, I don't know, but there's a lot more to it, you know.
Yeah, he made a lot of enemies while he was rapping, you know, and oddly enough, right before he died, he was going to go through and try to reconcile with Biggie. Because him and Biggie had their beef, but it was what it was. People were starting to get...
we got deprived from that. If two giants of the time... Imagine what they could have done. Some type of...
You have a dual album with Tupac and Biggie on. You're done. There's not going to be another piece of artistry like that ever to exist.
And that's usually how it is when like a legend goes away. You know, they were about to hit this next milestone, and then...
Yep. Nah. And remember, people, legends die in threes. They never die by themselves. You don't believe me? Look it up.
It's like Michael. He was going to hit that This Is It tour, and then what happened?
When Mike died, Mike owned half of Sony. Half. Think about that, people.
That's another one.
That's that's a whole nother situation.
People don't like it when you fight them and you own half of their shit.
And when you win, that's even worse.
So
if you fight them and lose, they don't care because it's like, all right, money well spent, move on. But when you fight them and win, You take your masters. You take half of ownership of that
You
company.
got you
The
got you got the rights to all the Beatles songs.
yeah, bro, this dude had owned catalog upon catalog, man. So, Mike, when he passed, that was a whole different situation. But with Tupac, honestly, I'll say this: is he dead? For me, I will always leave it at I don't know. I truthfully don't know. He had a funeral, but it's closed casket,
Yeah, but
and he
uh,
wasn't shot in the face or nothing like that.
funerals can be easily be bought.
And funeral, yeah, you could be. Come on, man, it's
I
real
mean, if I
easy
had
to
the
do that.
money, I'm pretty sure I can go to a mortuary and say, "Hey, I want to, set this up. How much is it going to cost me? Get all the media here." Although,
Exactly.
nobody will show up, just you guys. But
But that's the whole point of it. These funerals can be easily paid for. You
all
can
these
have the right
things,
people there. That's
all these
that's
things,
not a hard part.
and it isn't like, "All right, guys, I've made enough. I've done enough. I want to retire." No, it isn't like that.
Nope.
They're gonna hold on. They're gonna grip you. They're gonna milk you, and maybe, maybe they'll give you a deal where, like, okay, we'll give you a couple of months off.
Exactly.
A couple of months off.
That's what they're trying to do. They give you a little bit of time, where you can make it so things work out for you. But at the end of the day, it's about that dollar, and
Hmm.
it's about that bottom line, and you got to meet it. So, long story short, when it comes to musical contract, be smart. Read it. Read every single word.
Yeah.
Have somebody look at that contract. Don't just think because you're in a tight spot, I'm just going to sign and I already know I'm getting, messed over. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. No, take your time out,
Right.
look at the contract, understand it for what it is. Because if you willingly sign that piece of legal paperwork, that's how they get you.
That's your ass.
It's automatic. And sometimes it's literally your ass.
Yeah.
These people will find 50 million. If you have a musical contract and it's like 90 pages deep, it's too long. It's too much crap. That means that
Well,
they've got a billion loopholes in there to screw you over. You need to make your contract maybe about 5 to 10 pages max.
yeah. Because a lot of it is about the upper guy enjoying his luxurious house
Hmm.
and not wanting to go anywhere below that. So what happens when an artist is making, let's say, several millions, right? Maybe even billions worldwide. And then you want to say, "Oh, I want to get out." "Oh no, man, I ain't no. I'm not gonna lose my luxurious suites around the world. No, no, no." So what happens? I can easily find anyone in the streets that will do a job for me so long as they know I'm gonna take care of their family.
Exactly. And he said the perfect thing. You know why? That's what was being held over Tupac's head. That house your mama's in, that's in my name.
Mm,
That says Marion Knight, which is Suge Knight's real name, if you don't know. That's not in Tupac Amaru Shakur. That's not in Afeni Shakur. That
mm.
is in Marion Knight. So what does that say to you? I own your mama's house. You really want her to be out on the streets?
Out on the streets,
Do
right?
you have money to pay for that? Because I don't know if you do. And keeping books, keeping numbers. When you sign these record deals, the hotels you stay in, the advertisement, all
Oh,
of this
dude,
stuff is in all
the
encompassing.
excess, the luxuries. No,
They're
that's
paying for that.
huge numbers.
And
Yeah.
what you have to remember is you need to pay them back.
Yep.
And you better pay them back in full and on time. Because if not, what happens? You wind up in debt. And when you're in debt, you're at the mercy of that label and what they want, and you will have to do what they want.
Which comes back to your ass.
Literally.
You owe us. Well, guess what? You're going on another tour. Well, wait a minute. I just came. No, you're going on another tour.
If you don't believe me, there's the new edition story. It's out there. It's on BET
I haven't
Plus.
heard of that.
Yeah, you watch what happened to New
What?
Edition, one of the biggest groups ever.
Are they the ones that sung? What was it? That
Candy Girl.
Candy
Yep.
Girl.
Candy Girl.
Do, do.
You are my world.
Oh yeah,
All that. Like there's too many examples out there.
that one's for my Candy Girl out there. You know you're listening. Shut up.
But that's the point of it. You have to be smart. You got to know what's going on because that's how they hold it over your head.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, look, we gave you $1,000,000. You only made us 500,000. Where's our other 500,000?"
It's just like the movies. They make a movie, it bombs, and they're like, "Fuck! Now
Yeah.
what do we do?"
Yeah, and the only difference between the movie and the music industry is
They just
with the movie,
they just fire the
can't come
director.
to they just fire the director. They can't come to you as the actor and say, "Hey, give us our money back because
Yeah,
this
'cause-
movie
no,
bombed."
I just acted.
No, I
You
just
guys
acted.
hired me. I just acted. That's it.
Exactly. I came through. I did my job. That was it. I just look. This movie sucks and people don't take to it. That's not my problem. But you have to remember, you got to cater to different audiences. Make yourself open to it. And with that being said, listen to this.
Oh yeah.
That's the sound of opening of another Santan Juicy Jack Juicy Hazy IPA. Let me tell y'all something. This Juicy Hazy IPA showcases mosaic and cashmere hops, which will explode with aromas of peach, guava, and tangerine. Fruity and juicy, a generous amount of oats are added to give Juicy Jacks a rich, full-bodied flavor.
Flavor.
And you gotta have everything full bodied. We can't be running around out there too small and skinny now.
You
Gotta
gotta-
have a
and-
little thickness, a little girth to you.
But you gotta have the flavor too.
And that's what Juicy Jack is providing to us right now.
Yeah. Nah.
But hey, this right here closes the door for some people.
Yeah.
Some people are going to accept this. Hey, Keefy D was caught. Keefy D's the guy.
Well,
Whatever.
people are exhausted. I'm sure people just want to be like, you know what? All right, it's him.
Yeah. And when you have that, what you think is, okay, well, they brought this family peace and they brought this family, kindness, and they've done everything that they need to do. Do you know that? Because unfortunately, Tupac and his mother are gone.
Yeah.
So we don't know if his mom would have been satisfied with the fact that they called Keefy D and said, hey, this is the guy. He's been running around saying he's the one who murdered your son, or he was the one who called the hit, whatever. Because gang hierarchy is different. You have your leaders, you have your shot callers, you've got your low level dudes, your street guys. So
And everyone gets paid off by somebody who's got the millions.
exactly. Look at what happened with Nipsey Hussle. Why? Why would that happen? All he did was tell dude, hey, know about your reputation. I know you're a snitch. I'm gonna need you to get up out of here. Nobody in their right mind with the level of fame and the legend surrounding Nipsey Hussle in such a small span of time would shoot the dude for saying he didn't want you to be around because you're a snitch. But this guy did it. And what happens to people like that? They go into protective custody. You can't go and walk into a normal jail and be out there in Gen Pop and be the dude who took out literally the second biggest Crip since Snoop Dogg. You can't walk around in Gen Pop. They're gonna find a way to get to you. So where do they put you? Protective custody. If they put you in general population, your days are numbered, and you have to know that.
If you guys didn't know that, now you know.
Like there's
and if you don't know,
now you know. There it is.
Yeah.
And see, Death Row at the time was literally being run like a gang. Look at the
title gives it away, like Death Row. You're either going or
that's it. You're stuck.
You're riding the lightning, or what's going on here? What's happening? Tell me what you want to do.
And they purposely will do those things because the number one thing with Death Row is, hey, you come in, you make good music.
Well, the old Death Row, right?
Yeah, the old Death Row. You come in, you make good music, you make money. We're going to leave you alone. You get a pass. You can walk around in here.
But you
you'll be
continue
fine.
to make us money.
But
Now,
continue to make
yeah,
us
you
money,
don't.
because the minute you don't, that's when we start treating you like a regular person. That's when you walking down the hallway, you might get punched in the face. Why? Just cause. There's no reason. I just felt like punching somebody in the face, and you were the person walking down the hallway. So
Mm, a
no,
nice punch to the face.
right, right. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Nacho Libre.
Yeah.
But that those are the things that would happen, and a lot of what happened in that record label was insane.
I mean, there's probably
There's so
things
many untold
yeah, we'll never
stories
know.
we'll never know of, man.
Okay.
And I'll give you a little nugget for the people out there listening. Y'all know
All
MC
right, hold
Hammer
on.
was signed.
Let's
MC
bring it
Hammer
down.
was signed to
Let's
Death
bring
Row
it down. Let's bring it
Records.
down right here. You got something for everyone?
I
Here we
got
go.
something. MC Hammer was signed to Death Row Records. Did y'all know that? MC Hammer.
Now, was this before he got blown up with the hammer don't hurt him, or?
This was after that. So
Oh, so
basically,
this was the
this was when
pumps
he
in a
went.
bump?
Yes.
Pumps in a bump?
Pumps
Pumps in
in
a
a
bump?
bump.
You guys.
We like the girls with the pumps in the bump. Like, I'm telling you, bro. He literally, so MC Hammer, as we all know, megastar.
Huge.
Straight out of Oakland.
Huge.
And he,
I
MC
mean,
Hammer,
even on Saturday morning cartoons,
he
like,
had
dude.
his shoes were magic.
Magical shoes. Oh, that's right.
Magical shoes.
Wasn't it like a story where James Brown's shoes were passed on to him and they became
Something like
that, right?
Yeah, but
All
basically he had those shoes, and his shoes were magic. And basically the shoes were what made him dance and made him groove and get down like that.
I want those shoes, man.
MC Hammer
Buy me those
was
shoes for
signed to
Christmas.
we gonna get a pair. MC Hammer was signed to Death Row Records, and I know that probably blows a lot of people's mind. But when you're flat broke,
Oh yeah,
from being that rich,
that high.
MC Hammer was in the stratosphere.
He was.
That dude had made.
He surpassed
millions.
Michael.
He blew. And the thing was, and you know why Hammer went broke? He was too busy helping the homie. Hammer took so many people on tour, had so many rooms, but all these things. And once again, it goes back to what I said. This stuff has to be paid for. Who's paying for this? The label. So when your album sales don't do as much as they used to, and when your hits aren't actually hitting anymore, and the money slows down, and you still got thousands of people with you.
That's when the label comes and says, "Hey, so who's gonna take care of this bill here, buddy? You got over millions and millions and oh shit."
Yeah, and that's when the reality sets in. Going, you know what? I love my people, but some of y'all gonna have to stay home. You're gonna have to bring in the people that actually matter.
Yeah,
and that's the biggest key. If you're doing that, bring the people that with you that are really doing something. They have a purpose. If you want to bring one of your friends along, because that's just your friend.
It's my friend.
You know, like me, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm bringing Lord with me anywhere, because that's my brother.
Lord BAMF.
I'll bring him with me wherever. He doesn't have to pay for nothing. He's good. But that's him. And that's one person. So how much is it really going to cost me to house him, to make sure he's good?
You know what? I'm going to say it right here, right now. It's going to cost you exactly one case of the Santan Valley JuicyJack Juicy Hazy IPA.
Exactly.
All right. But yeah, I remember that. I remember his entourage was like ridiculous. It was through like so many people. Like, what the hell?
And the common misconception about Hammer was that he was a chump. Hammer was straight out of Oakland, California.
No, but even that, you can see like right away. You see, he was no chump. He was no punk. He was no,
It was a common misconception though. People thought because he danced and he made like, happy, good time music that he was, that he could be messed with. Hammer was not that dude. Hammer was that guy that you messed with and you found out real quick, maybe I shouldn't have done this.
He's going to dance all over your ass. It's going to happen.
Right? He even made that song, We Got to Pray. Pray, we got to pray.
Oh
And
yeah, I remember
what's gonna
that.
happen? You gonna be praying when Hammer comes for you, because
Hammer.
Hammer's coming with a couple of goons from the town.
Yeah.
If you don't believe, look like this. Oakland is literally set up. You go from one side of the Golden Gate Bridge to the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge. Dave Chappelle said it best. Bye. Thank you for coming to San Francisco. Come back later. We're having a sale on Birkenstocks. You get across that. You get across that bridge. It's like, welcome to Oakland, bitch. It's no get. It's not a joke. It's not a game. Like, if you think that the town is a joke, don't go out there fooling around thinking you just finna investigate. You get yourself robbed out there real quick, and they riding around in anything, minivans, old school cars, new cars, whatever. At the end of the day, Tupac's killer was caught. I say, hey, if the man is done, let him rest in peace. But at the same time, there's always that question: what if this is not the guy? That's a very big clout move. And then think about it. Now I go into jail. I'm the guy who killed Tupac.
After how? Excuse me.
After almost 30 years, I'm the guy that killed Tupac.
Did he was I mean, here's the thing. Was the deal was like we'll give you this much time, this much money, and he blew through the money. Once you blow through the money, then you reveal you're the killer. Was that a deal? Was that an offer?
Look, there's so many possibilities. He brings that to the table. You never know what they told him. They could have said exactly that. They could have looked and said, hey, look, we're not gonna solve this murder. We'll get back to it when we get to it. And it's always like that. Because you have to think about it like this. Cops have how many different murders happening on a daily basis that they got to deal with?
Right.
The murder of a celebrity always is going to take precedence over a regular Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
You're gonna if I get popped tomorrow, God forbid, I get popped tomorrow. Then if that happens to me, and in that same 5-block radius, Will Smith were to get shot, who do you think they're gonna investigate?
Yeah.
They looking for Will Smith killers right away. Boom, instantaneous. Me? Man, well, I don't know who he was. He died. It is what it is. And we live in a world where everything is captured. So you have to think about that. No matter what you do, no matter where you are, there's a camera everywhere. There's a microphone everywhere. When they said they wanted to put chips in your hand to track everything, little RFD chips, you don't need that. You know why? You got a cell phone. You're a walking GPS. People.
That's your chip there, and it's in either on the left side of your cheek there or your right. And if you're creative, it's right up in your ass.
Exactly. And if you're more creative and you're old school, you got the little band where you put it on your arm.
Right in my arm.
But that cell phone is everywhere.
Yeah.
You always have it. You're always on it. It's a way of life. These kids today literally don't know the struggle of having to go to a payphone and pay a quarter for it.
Man, that was actually fun.
And when you didn't have a quarter, you go over there looking and asking people, like, hey, man, can I get a quarter? I got to make a phone call.
Yeah, because at that time, even if you had to run out, find a payphone, and, score your quarter, you were just happy that you had somebody to call. And if it wasn't, your folks or siblings or something, I'm calling my girl,
Right? Yeah, like you literally are there. There wasn't a way
running.
for you to get in touch. You were running. And then you didn't think.
You were fighting the guy on the phone. Man, hurry up, get off, man.
Right?
I gotta call my lady, man.
You're sitting there thinking that you're standing almost in a line.
Yeah.
You're worried about it.
It was like an arcade line, but it was a payphone.
Exactly. And the hard part about that is you pay that 25 cents. You know what happens? Right when you're about to run out of time, there's a voice that shows up.
Yeah.
You have 2 minutes left on this phone call. Please insert more money. Otherwise, this call will be ended.
Yeah. I remember I never knew that the call ended until, I was like dating somebody and I had to call them and we were on the phone
And that shit randomly cut off.
And it cut off, and I was like, wait a minute, what? I thought this 25 cents was like, lifelong.
And now, people, any payphone you see in the United States of America now actually has a slot for you to put in your credit or debit card.
Oh, yeah.
If you put a quarter into a payphone, it's a joke now. You can't do nothing with a quarter.
That was a while back, though. I remember seeing those somewhere around the late 90s.
Nah, I never saw.
But it was like a phone. It was a specialized phone card. It wasn't like your.
Oh yeah, it was a phone card. It wasn't your actual debit or credit card. Yeah, I mean, heck, remember what they used to have the phones in the cars, like the actual pickup phone where you grabbed it
on what was it, BMWs and
whatever. BMWs and stuff like that. Mercedes. You could get a phone in your car. Hell, they had a fax machine in the fucking
car. Not in the cars I got into. I mean,
you get into the back of an old Cutlass Supreme. You get in the phone.
There and you tell the homie, hey, hold on, man, pull over here. What's going on? You got a piss? No, there's a phone over there. I got to make a call.
Exactly.
And I'd be like, man, hurry up, man.
Exactly. And that's the whole point of it. And the whole reason for the hurry up was I got to keep my head on the swivel because I got to remember where I'm at.
Yeah.
Travel, you go different places. Tupac could move around like that. Once again, his celebrity allowed him to move in places he wasn't supposed to be able to move in.
Yep.
But that celebrity doesn't stop you from violence, from understanding what you're getting yourself into. You have to remember that.
Yeah.
Just because you're a celebrity does not mean you can't get yourself hurt in some way, shape, or form. And look at what happened to him. And look at what happened to a lot of the celebrities that unfortunately passed.
But then these are our opinions. I mean, we don't know.
We don't know because we weren't there. We don't know the full situation.
We don't know.
But if you think about it, there's a lot of celebrities that wound up dying of violent deaths. Marvin Gaye shot, twice by his dad?
I think so.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like that Bruno Sammartino, was it? No,
yeah.
No,
not Bruno Sammartino.
No. I'm completely wrong there.
And then you think about it, you have to remember also injuries to the brain causes this stuff. Look at what happened with Chris Benoit.
What was it? We don't know.
We don't know.
It could have been that, but we don't know.
I mean, hey, when you jump off a top rope for 90% of your career and lay your head into someone.
Yeah, because his one of his specials or signatures was the diving head.
That diving headbutt, right into your shoulder and neck area.
But he would hit the
bone. He would always hit the bone. So after a while,
tell me after all that you're not gonna. No, man, you're gonna be.
There's gonna be some craziness. I'll give you guys another example.
Well. Yeah. Well, because it's just like whiplash.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Boom, bam, boom, 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 boom.
And enough whiplash, your nerves start to be shot. The connections that your brain had with your body aren't the same anymore.
Maybe even start shaking loose. Your brain starts slow separation.
And you don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, you get into a physical fight in general. Even
then, dude. For anyone that's ever been punched in the face, even that jogs you like, whoa. Bzzz.
Yeah. And even if you don't get jogged, there's still damage being done.
Yeah.
Even if you got that iron chin where you can take a punch, it does not matter. There's still damage being done. Look, Tupac did a lot of damage with his tongue because he said things that people would normally say. He was your Kendrick Lamar before Kendrick Lamar. He was that guy that the reason people like Biggie was like, oh, well, he's a great storyteller. He's this. But the reason people like Tupac is why? He could walk both lines. He could be a gangster, but then he could be conscious as well. And that's a hard line to walk, but he was able to do that to perfection. And you have to remember, once again, when you leave, you try to leave and take yourself and your money. That person is like, I can't let you go. You need to stay here with me and continue to make me money.
Yeah.
And what happened right before Tupac tried to leave? Everybody else wanted to leave too. They found out they was being ripped off.
Well, they also found out that, hey, we can make way more money
On our own.
on our own.
With our own labels, with our own deals, knowing we have the talent that this label is looking for in that same instance. All right, cool. I can make my own money. If you look at Tupac, some of Tupac's posthumous albums, you'll see, I think it's called Amaru, like music or something like that.
Mm.
That was his label that he created so he could start getting some money.
And everybody hates that. People don't really like it when you're doing your own thing.
Yeah, because the labels want to be able to make that bread off of you. They need you. What people don't realize is these labels wouldn't survive if you weren't there. They need you to make that money.
Yeah. Because the first thing they say is what? Well, good luck. I mean, you might need me.
Yeah, because what do they say? Okay, so
Or
shout out.
I don't think it's a good idea.
Exactly. Shout out Noriega. Shout out Noriega DJ EFN. Drink Champs. They always talk about that on their show. Would you rather be indie or would you rather be with a label? The label gives you the power that you don't have independently.
Yeah.
They're able to do all of the advertisements and get to the DJs.
It's a fast launch pad.
Yeah. But when you're independent, you have to do that work by yourself.
By yourself, with yourself. Maybe a few, people help you out.
Yep.
Fam, friends, real friends.
Yeah.
And
You've got to get the people around you that really truthfully believe in you, that will put in time and invest in you, knowing, hey, this return may not happen right now
or ever.
But at the end of the day, I believe so much in this person and I believe so much in this product. I know it's gonna yield tangible dividends at some point. And even if it doesn't.
Not even that. Even if it's just like, you know what, I love you enough that here's my support.
I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna give or hey, look, you need a studio session. How much is it? $500. Here you go. All right, I just gave you that because I believe in you.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about it. Just tell me what's next.
Yeah. What do we do from here? That's how that works.
Yeah.
And with Tupac, they found out this man was a cash cow.
Who was he signed to after?
Death Row? He was only signed to Death Row Records after he was signed to Interscope Records before.
Okay, so I had it backwards. All right.
So
Interscope.
he was already in Interscope.
Okay,
and
Interscope,
Death Row was an imprint for Interscope.
Right.
And remember, people, do your homework. Death Row Records was not supposed to be Suge Knight's record label. It was supposed to be Dr. Dre's record label. Dre got with Suge Knight. Suge Knight basically took over. And that's what happened. Another gem for you. Right before Eazy-E passed, he was about to get NWA back together to make a reunion album. Him, MC Ren, Q, and Dr. Dre. What happened? He randomly passed. Eazy-E had been out there doing the most with women for God knows how long. And that one random time he gets AIDS and then dies. Conspiracy theories be on that, or just insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Some people even said that Suge Knight killed him. They said Suge Knight came in and injected him with AIDS when he was in the hospital.
That's a lot of.
It's so much speculation.
That's a lot of power. Like,
yeah.
Here, let me score some AIDS in a syringe and go in there and
inject it into someone and then make sure that they
star.
die. Yeah.
I don't know.
Or hey, you know what? On that subject, Magic Johnson's still alive, ain't he?
Oh, Magic! You do have some magic in you, that's for sure, man.
His name was Irvin Magic Johnson, and he magically beat HIV, which at least 99.9% of people don't beat.
Well, he's got the money, right? Does he?
He's got the money, man. Please.
I remember.
I don't care what nobody says. Magic found a cure, and he just didn't tell no damn body.
You know what?
He was smart.
Hey, if I was Magic, I'd be telling everyone, "Well, this is how I did it." But his fast break is his fast break.
At the end of the day, you never tell no one how you did it. You know
Well,
why?
yeah, because the money, the
Yeah,
corporations.
big pharma. They'll come for you. You know they will.
So, is he the killer? Yes or no?
I'm gonna say yes.
All right.
I'm gonna say yes. And this is based off of my understanding and my deep knowledge of how gang banging works. At the end of the day, if somebody comes at Lord, it's a problem. If me and Lord, hypothetically, people, remember this is not real. Hypothetically, if we're
Yes,
in a
people,
gang,
remember.
if we're in a gang and somebody comes at him, my automatic response is retaliation without question, without thought. Where are they at? Let's go get them now.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to get them, I'm going to do what I do. But in true gang culture, I'm not going out there telling nobody I did a damn thing.
That's true. That's what blows my mind. It's like, even if it's like 20, 30 years, like,
I
what do
did. Who admits to this?
Now maybe if he, like, he found the Lord, or yes, I understand that part. Okay, so you're trying to cleanse yourself. You're
Mhm.
just getting it out there, and you think that forgiveness rolls that way. I don't know, but
Yeah, and that that's
maybe,
that's the thing. Sometimes
maybe.
people do find the Lord. They're like, you know what? Hey, I don't want to live with this anymore.
Right,
I
right.
can't hold this on my
Yep,
soul.
yep,
I
yep.
have to repent for my sins, whatever
Yeah.
the case may be. Whatever you decide to
So
believe in,
that,
people,
yeah,
that's how that works. And if you did feel that way and you decided, hey, I'm just gonna open this door and say, hey, whatever happens, happens. I have to, I've got to be open and honest about it. Then that's your prerogative.
right.
But I will tell you this:
Because he hasn't given a statement out, has he?
no,
No, nothing.
no. So I can tell you this: at the end of the day, you don't catch me openly admitting nothing like that. I'm not about to put myself out there to purposely go to jail.
Yeah, well,
Anybody in their
yeah.
right mind is smart enough to know jail is modern day slavery for everyone. Don't think of this as just one
Well,
specific person.
jail isn't supposed to be a nice thing.
Yeah,
So they're
yeah.
gonna.
You don't go there to have fun. This isn't a day spa. You go there because you did something that broke the law and they convicted you of it, and that's what happens. Now, I'm not saying every conviction is correct because there are a lot of things that go on where there's not enough evidence and people still get convicted.
Yeah.
You'll hear stories upon stories about people that were wrongfully convicted, spend 20, 30 years of their life in jail, get out and they get a settlement. I can tell you right now, there's no sum of money that will pay for the time that I missed living a normal, regular, everyday life
Oh,
for
hell
you
no.
convicting me of something I definitely did not do. And yes, people, there are innocent people in jail.
Yep.
It is not always somebody that automatically did it.
And a lot of times it's those that can't even simply afford a good attorney. That's it.
Yeah,
That's what it comes
you
down to.
just get stuck with that public defender,
Or that
and
idiot.
you
Oh
gotta hope and
yeah,
pray that
he smells like cigarettes and cheap
you gotta hope and pray.
sandwich.
You gotta hope and pray this motherfucker remembers his old name.
It's like, who's this guy? Oh, this is my attorney. Wow, we found him for you. Yeah, man, that's what you guys gave me.
He comes in, he's dropping all this paperwork all over the floor. He don't even know his left from his right.
Yeah,
He or she is confused. You don't know what's going on. But at the end of the day, Tupac's killer was supposedly caught. A lot of people will celebrate that. A lot of people will continue to say, "Hey, I'm not sure if this is really the guy." Based off of the rules that I told y'all earlier that exist, the way this looks, this is the guy. But in that same vein, you don't tell him yourself. Nobody snitches himself out. I don't care how righteous I get. I can tell you that. If I had to do something and something was not, then I did something that wasn't supposed to be done. That's between me and the Lord. I'll talk to God when I get up there.
and that's another way to look at it, like a sick twisted way. Like, maybe he's done and he wants to go out like that as, yeah, I'm the guy that took out, because that's a huge murder. I'm the guy that took him out. Look at me, everybody. Hey. No, no,
Hey,
no, no.
that's a big clout chasing
That's a
right there.
whole other thing, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, you can clout chase like crazy for that, man. You can definitely say that automatically. Hey, I'm the guy that killed Tupac. And you get a lot of lore for that. You become a legend amongst different people.
Different people, not everyday people or normal people.
Normal people will look at you and go, why would you want that as a moniker?
Right.
Why would you want that on your name or on your head? You know how many people gonna hate you for that? Like I said earlier about that dude that shot Nipsey Hussle. He's not moving around the streets like normal. He's not moving around his neighborhood and everything is okay.
Nah.
No. That young man is in protective custody, still scared for his life because there could be people in protective custody that'll do something to you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, money talk, bullshit walk.
Yep. All right. So we're gonna close that out with. So you gave your opinion on that. I think my opinion, it could be, but I'm not 100% with it.
Same here.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah, we think it could be him. And yes, all of the evidence is pointing to such. But you just never know.
We might come back with another one until he gives an actual statement or says anything, because he hasn't said anything.
Yeah, until I see an actual trial, till I see some real hardcore evidence. At this point, you wrote a book about it. You said you did it, but we don't have no real proof that that really happened.
Yeah.
So this could be, and to tell
attention.
you the truth,
Attention getter, money getter.
also remember, people, in jail, your legend and your lore is what keeps you at a certain status. Always going to be that way. If you are the dude that constantly is doing something violent to other people, people ain't going to come at you. You know why? They don't want them problems. For what? It doesn't make sense. The smart thing is lay low, do your time, move on with life. In this instance with this guy, he will be in protective custody. You will not see him in general population.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who, whatever gang he's from. Look, there's not enough protection to stop you from having a bunch of dudes on your head that love Tupac and hate the fact that you murdered him.
Not even just like friends or homies or gang, but crazed fanatics out there, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be that dude in Tupac that dude in jail that loves Tupac. That was his favorite rapper. That was his favorite artist.
And he's been waiting.
And he's just been waiting.
He's been waiting.
He's been waiting for that killer to be found.
Yeah.
And that killer now is in my cell block. It's a wrap.
He's found, supposedly.
He's found. Good. When he comes here, I already know what I'm going to do. I know how I'm going to do it. And I know when I'm going to do it. And where. That's it.
So there it is. Anyone listening out there, drop your opinion on the comments section. Don't be afraid. Just drop it down. It is your opinion. We respect that. We're not going to hassle you or talk trash and whatever. Just drop it down and let's see what you have to say. But for right now, we're moving on to Tales from Work. All right, because I really wanted to talk about this. So today,
Let's go.
one of those crazy, funny, incredibly intelligent customers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he comes up to me. I'm standing there, and he comes up to me. I'm doing my work. He comes up to me, and he goes, "Excuse me, do you speak Spanish?" And I said, I'm talking to him in Spanish. I said, "Of course, I do, yeah." So I go, "How can I help you?" He goes, "I'm looking for this." And he points at a hammer. And I said, in my head, I'm like, well, it's right there. But I go, oh, okay, yeah. Like, is it a different hammer? Is it a short hammer, long hammer, sledgehammer?
Mm-hmm. Ball peen hammer. There's a
MC Hammer.
Who
are you looking? What is it? So he goes, oh, I'm looking for this. And I go, okay, but it's right there then. And he goes, no. I'm looking for this, but it's longer. I go, oh, so you need a longer handle. And he says, no. I'm looking for this, but it's longer and it's different. And now I think like this guy's fucking with me. Like, all right, man, I'm not even.
It's longer and it's different.
I'm,
This is leading to a very
yeah,
weird
man.
conversation.
I'm like, look, bro. I'm ready to get out of here. Go drink some beer and hang out. And you're fucking with me right now? No. So I go, well, wait a minute. What do you mean? What you're saying? And he goes like this, and I'm looking for a mango. So in my head, I go, motherfucker, you're in a hardware store. A mango's the last thing we're gonna sell in here. and I told him in Spanish. I goes, no, we don't sell mangoes here. You know, we sell tools. If you need a mango, I mean, the only time I was cool. I wasn't like aggressive or anything. I was just talking to him. I go, if you're only gonna find a mango here, is if an associate of mine brings it in for lunch and starts eating it. That's the only time you're gonna find a mango. And he goes, no, 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 no. A mango is this. He goes, a mango is this. And I go, no, a hammer, a martillo. And he goes, no, it's a mango. That's what I call it. And I told him, I go, how can I know that what you're looking for is there, but it's called a mango? How am I supposed to know that? And so he said,
now, really quickly, people, before he continues, remember one thing. Dialects are different in different parts of the world, so people will call different things different shit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let him continue, but just remember that part, people. Dialects are different, so what you say in one place, you might not say in another. And that's across different continents. Like in Mexico, you can go to Chihuahua, they speak one way, but you go to Guadalajara, they speak another way. You take your ass to,
wherever.
But it is what it is. Go ahead.
So, but I made it clear. I made that part clear. I go, all right, I understand that's what you call it, but I don't know what it is. A mango to me is a fruit. And he says, no, no, no. I know it's a fruit, but that's not what this is. I go, okay, so do you need a hammer or not? And he goes, wait a minute. He tells me, there you go, let that out. You
Let that out.
He goes, he got upset. He goes, you're supposed to know all this. And I go, excuse me? He goes, you're supposed to know all this because you work here. And I said, well, okay, let's say I do supposed to know all this, but I know some. And even if I know some, I'm not going to know that a hammer is a fucking mango to you. No, I didn't tell him like that, but in my head I was blown up, man. Oh
right,
my
right.
God. So anyway, I found his fucking mango and he took it with him.
So what type of hammer was this shit for this motherfucker to call it a mango?
It was just a hammer with a medium-sized handle. Not long, not short, just medium-sized, which is just a standard hammer.
So a standard fucking hammer is called a mango.
Or at least no. Or at least he calls it to him.
He calls it a mango. Let me explain something to you people. Your slang is not everybody else's fucking slang. When you make up some shit, make sure you make people privy to what the fuck you're talking about, because it doesn't work that way. I'll tell you this. I work for a 401k company. Not going to say the damn name.
Yes, no names.
No names. But I can tell you this. People treat a 401k like it's a fucking savings plan. Let me explain something to you people. The reason your dumb ass...
Keep going.
The reason your dumb ass cannot access the money in your 401k up front is because it's a 401k. Don't be a dumbass and think that you could just take from this shit when you want. People, the IRS, Uncle Sam, you know that old white dude pointing, we want you, for the army and all that shit.
Oh, Uncle Sam.
Old Uncle Sam. Let me explain.
Tío Sam.
Yeah, exactly. Let me explain something to you. The reason the provisions that are in place are there is because they weren't there before, and you dumb motherfuckers or spending your money.
Yeah.
And then when you got to retirement, you turned around and were like, well, you just let me do it. What's our problem?
You just let me do it. Oh, my God.
Let me explain something to you, dipshit. The whole process means retirement. So what does that say? When you get old and you don't want to do this no more, you don't want to work, you're going to take this money and live off of it.
Well, you're going to retire, hopefully, and take that money
and live off of it. You're going to do whatever you want to do. You're going to take trips. You're going to go around the fucking world. You're going to sit at home and do nothing. You're going to be on your rocking chair sipping a bottle of whiskey all fucking day. Whatever you feel is best for yourself.
Smoke weed on the porch.
But at the end of the day, all I hear is, this is my money. Why can't I take it? The reason you can't take it, dipshit, is because you're not 59 and a half. That is the age, technically, for retirement. I just gave y'all a nugget. That's information for anybody listening.
And if you don't know,
now you know.
All right, that's it for Tales from Work. All right, that was fun. Wasn't that fun? That was pretty cool.
Fun. I like that.
We'll be coming back. We're going
to come back with a whole bunch of other shit. Like, there's going to be different things that we're going to talk about. It's not going to be just strictly Tupac's Killer or Work. Yeah. It's going to be a variety of different things.
It's a start. And then once we move forward, we'll add a couple more mics and a couple more fams in here.
Exactly. You have to think about it. Think about the shit that we ate when we were kids. Think about the things that we did. Look at it versus then versus now. And this is just a prelude into those things.
Like, you know what's one question I want to ask everyone? At least the male side of the family.
Yeah.
Your first Playboy.
Oh.
All right.
Your first hustler.
Yeah.
These were things that you had that no one knew about.
Right? Nah, man, it could go on for years. So there it is, everyone.
Cereals.
If you're listening, stick around, and hopefully you'll have a laugh and learn some things, right?
Educate yourself. Don't live in today's society. Remember, the past predicts the future.
There you go. Let's Jiggz it!
Yeah!